When I was a kid, I did not always respond well when one of my siblings did something to me that I felt was mean. I remember feeling like I had to retaliate whenever one of my siblings did something that I didn't like. If they lied to me or tricked me into doing something, I'd make sure that I'd find an opportunity to do that to them later so that they knew how it made me feel. If they pushed me or hit me, I'd do the same back to them. As you can imagine, doing that never resolved any of the conflict, it just made it worse. I think our society has the same attitude as this very often. We don't live in a society that celebrates gentleness. This can be a big challenge for us because as people, we have a tendency to lean towards doing things in a way that the society around us does. Our society teaches us to always have the final word in an argument and to never let someone get the best of us, to always make sure that everyone knows that they shouldn't mess with me because they'll regret it. But what does the Bible have to say about this? Hi, I'm Justus Coppinger, and today we're going to take a look at this. Jesus has a deep desire for his followers to respond to conflict much differently than our society does. Look at what he says in Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 through 40. You have heard the law that says the punishment must match the injury, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say, do not resist an evil person. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, offer the other cheek also. If you are sued in court and your shirt is taken from you, give your coat too. This is a very radical teaching. What is Jesus getting at? Is he saying that we should just let people do whatever they want to us with no consequences? In the example I shared earlier about how me and my siblings used to fight, you can imagine that when I responded with retaliation, nothing was ever resolved, but things just got worse instead. What Jesus is trying to explain is that responding to conflict with more conflict does not resolve the issue because both sides feel like they were wronged by the other side. While Jesus doesn't want us to continue to live in a state of being mistreated, Jesus does want us to follow his example of taking the high road. Winning to Jesus is not making sure that we win the argument by having the last word or saying things that make people feel less of themselves, but by showing them that what they have to say does not affect who we are because our identity is found in Christ, not in what others say or do to us. Paul echoes this idea in Romans chapter 12, verses 17 and 18. He says, never pay back evil with more evil. Do things in such a way that everyone can see that you are honorable. Do all that you can to live in peace with everyone. And he wraps this up in verse 21 with, don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil by doing good. When we choose to respond to evil with the same thing, then evil is the only one that wins because we've let it win our own hearts. Instead, respond by first establishing appropriate boundaries so that both of you can be set up for success in resolving the problem. And secondly, we should ask God for guidance so that we are more equipped to respond in a gentle, Christ-like manner. So here's today's challenge. Allow the gentleness of God's Spirit to win and fill your heart. When someone says something that gets under your skin, choose to respond instead of reacting. Take a deep breath, take time to reflect, and respond in a way that communicates love to the other person while also resolving the issue through patient and intentional communication. Now go and win today.